can't take out the garbage without saying, garbage day. Hello. Welcome to Sad and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Skeleton Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones, which is a horror novel from 2023 from Saga Press. And I can't. You probably can't even hear anything anyway. But, I received this ARC from NetGalley in exchange for a fair review. This novel is the sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw, which is probably the best book title I've ever heard. At least up there with We All Died at Breakaway Station. I don't know. Anyway, even the blurb for this book, Don't Fear the Reaper, has spoilers for Chainsaw, so definitely read Chainsaw first before checking out this review. There are no spoilers, though, for Don't Fear the Reaper in this review. A dark, menacing, and addictive read, Don't Fear the Reaper takes what started in My Heart as a Chainsaw and ramps it up to 11. 4 years after her tumultuous senior year, Jade Daniels is released from prison right before Christmas when her conviction is overturned. But life beyond bars takes a dangerous turn as soon as she returns to Proof Rock. Convicted serial killer Dark Mill South, seeking revenge for the 38 Dakota men hanged in 1862, escapes from his prison transfer due to a blizzard just outside Proof Rock, Idaho. Dark Mill South's reunion tour began on December 12th, 2019, a Thursday. 36 hours and 20 bodies later, on Friday the 13th, it would be over. If you didn't guess, and if you haven't read the first one but are somehow watching this review, this is a slasher horror book. As with Chainsaw, this novel pays serious homage to 70s to 90s horror movies, mainly slashers, but we also get some movies and other subgenres referenced, all of which, brag brag, I have seen. Anyway, funny enough, several of the movies that he mentions, I talked about back in my All My Horror Movies I Watched in October video. I will link it at the end. Such as Bay of Blood, Hell Night, Intruder, Rawhead Rex, which I still think is stupid. It's like I was channeling this book before I even read it. Ora Jones watched a lot of Shudder while writing this book. There's also a reference to a movie I don't even like, Silent Night, Deadly Night, of which the sequel, though, produced my favorite scene from any movie ever. Here, I will show it.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
I can't take out the garbage without saying, garbage day! Anyway, back to the actual review. I'm just kind of rambling here. I think putting on this mask melted my brain. Do not read Don't Fear the Reaper if you can't handle gore or murder or horrific deaths. This book is full of over-the-top deaths that you would see in a Friday the 13th movie, people being impaled on weird things, for example. There's even a slight bit of a creature feature, which is my preferred genre of horror. This book is about more than abject horror, though. In fact, it's not really scary. But that could be because I find ghosts scary, not like hulking dudes with knives scary for some reason. I guess because, if it bleeds, I can kill it. Like Chainsaw, this is a story about a young woman fighting. In Chainsaw, Jade was fighting for herself, for her identity, and to find the self buried under the trauma. In this one, she's fighting for those she loves. She's fighting to have a life, to save other lives. It's a progression, or perhaps not an evolution, but she's growing up a bit more. In terms of whether this book is better than the first, I'd say it's on par. Just like the setting in Chainsaw was an homage to summer camp horror, this one is about kind of whiteout horror. Think Storm of the Century, The Shining, The Thing. The storm is what allows the massacre to happen, almost as if the Earth were helping Dark Mill South with his plans. Given Jade, the final girl, survived last time, the stakes had to be higher in this one than her just escaping, which means a tougher environment and more at stake, namely Jade's friends. That being said, Jade seems to take a back step in the middle of the novel, where the first book was all about her. While I was still quite addicted to reading the novel, I couldn't put it down. The middle of the book lost some of its steam. It didn't drag, but for a while I was wondering, where is the story going? There is an attempt to bring in multiple point of views, which I enjoyed, as I really like multi-POV, and I found it added the, everyone is separated, and this thus a target kind of aspect, which is a common trope in horror. There's also a part with Jade's mom that was excellent and added some emotional heft. It also tied in a lot to the first book because I'm not going to get into that. So anyway, one thing I loved, though, was the background for why Dark Mill South was a psychotic killer. It was a very brief explanation, but it was extremely poignant in that it didn't excuse his actions, like, you know, make it so, like, he wasn't the perpetrator of this, but it showed how systemic abuse essentially broke a boy of his humanity and warped him to be a crazy killer. In this case, the residential school system was specifically called out, which, if you're not sure what that is, you should look it up. We had them here in Canada as well, and it's an utterly horrific part of our history, and it makes me so sad and so angry. And so when that was kind of an impetus behind the killer's damaged psyche, I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I will wrap this up to say that if you've read Chainsaw, you will likely enjoy this novel. And if you don't like horror, why did you even watch this review? Oh, for me? Well, I declare. Let me know what your favorite horror movie is in the comments. I have many that I really enjoy, but if I had to pick like my favorite horror movie of all time that isn't like Alien, because I'm not talking sci-fi horror here, it's The Shining. I freaking love The Shining. I'm obsessed with it. I watch it at least once a year, and that for me is a big deal because I barely have time to watch movies anymore. Except for in October, apparently, when I watched 14. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching.